Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Maxwell DNA video series. Today, we will continue exploring this Maxwell DNA acronym. We are exploring the values represented by this acronym, and I believe today is the letter E. So, Anya, you're with us today. Who is our guest today?
Well, actually, our guest today is you.
What? Wait, hold on. I need to get I need to get my script. Where's my script? Wait, hold on. We'll do it on the fly then. No, I knew that. Of course, we knew that.
Very-
What, have you enjoyed it so far?
I have, and I'm very confident that we will enjoy it today too. I think this will be a good interview.
A good interview. I hope so. I hope so. Well, in this case, I'm not doing the interview, but you. So I'm gonna let the microphone go, and the platform is yours.
Thank you. I'm very happy to interview you today, and I'm very excited. So let's start with the first question. Today, we're talking about equipping others.
Mhm.
Uh, what does this value, equip others, mean to you?
What does that mean to me? Well, very early on in life, I came across this value, and I came across this value in my early years as a teenager when I was very active at the church or in the
Mhm.
church. Uh, and that was one of the things that impressed me the most. My pastor and his wife, they were very engaged doing youth work in our church. And as when I came into the church, everything was new to me. A lot of young people and many activities, music, sports, but also, of course, spiritual disciplines and things like that. Bible study and social work and things like that. And one of the things that impressed me the most, as I said at the beginning, was the way they were engaged training us in
Mhm.
teenagers and young adult in one of the Bible verses that got stuck in my head, and as a matter of fact, is my favorite Bible verse. I have it here with me because I want to read it correctly. It's 2 Timothy 2:2, chapter 2, verse 2. And Paul is talking to his own disciple, so to speak, Timothy, and he tells him, and the things that you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. So that verse, it made an impact in my life. First, because I saw that in my pastor and his wife, doing the work they were doing, and also because they inspire me also to do the same,
Yes.
right? So yeah, around 16, 17, when I was 16, 17 years old, that was my first encounter with this whole concept, and that's what it means to me, because I'm 55, and ever since I've been involved in one way or another, as a pastor, as a teacher, as a parent, as a coach, in training others, giving, whatever I have. I'm always inspired and motivated to train others, to give what I know.
That's amazing. So because someone equipped you,
Mhm.
you will now equip others.
Exactly.
Mhm. Wow, that's powerful. And it's also this multiplying effect. If you equip someone else and they go and equip others, it's like s- spreading out.
Exactly. And I believe, you know, someone told me a few years ago that the best investment we can do is invest in individuals,
Mhm.
invest in people, because you know that person, you are close to this person, so you are more able to know what his or her needs are, and help her on the way, in her own path to whatever goal they are reaching, right? And I think it's true. I think it's true. If we invest in people, it will the harvest will be plentiful, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Mm.
And how do you integrate this into your life? How do you equip others in your daily life?
You know, as I was getting ready for this interview, because of course we knew that you were going to interview me today, but I found one quote from John Maxwell that I have it here because it's also very inspirational. And he says that his passion, and well, I'll read it in the first person. It's my passion in life is growing and equipping others to do remarkable things and lead significant and fulfilled lives. Right. So you know it goes along with that Bible text, right? And so because it is a passion of mine, and I try to do that in everything I do. So if I am training my kids, if I am helping them to grow, to learn new concepts, to have critical thinking, and if they are facing situations in life, so I try to guide them in a smart, positive way so they can grow. The same thing that I try to do whenever I am allowed or I am given the privilege to teach. I work here in Germany a few years as a teacher in private schools, teaching values and norms. I believe that in German it's called Werte und Normen. So it's some. I believe that's something like an ethics type of class, right? And it's also very fulfilling to be able to help students to think about existential questions and to questions everything that happens around them and so on, and also of course to help them to find solutions. So I guess it is part of me right now. I don't think about it, you know. I don't think about it if should I do it, should I not. It's just for me, it's just part of my life. If I have the opportunity to give, then I'll try to do it. Yeah,
Was
that's
that always the case, or did you grow into this? Did it change over the years? Do you know that?
I think from back then, you know, when I was 16, 17, I was so deeply impressed that I knew that's what I wanted to do. You know, first as a pastor, you know, trying to work with people, and then as a coach. I just for me is I find it fulfilling. It's more than a job. It's not a job. It's not something that I get paid to do. But it's something that I enjoy doing. I believe in, and it's also rewarding to see people's lives change and to see people uh, going from point A to point B
Yeah,
and making progress in their lives. So I guess it's just a joyful. It's a joyful journey. It is a joyful and rewarding job, quote unquote. But you know, there are challenging times, of course. But I think I enjoy it. Yeah, yeah.
amazing. That's
Mhm.
great. You mentioned your family. How does this value equipping others influence your relationships with your family or in your work?
Yeah. Well, I guess I mentioned a little bit of it just a couple of minutes ago, but now considering the question again, I'm going to take another angle to it because it can if I am too overzealous, over you know, too excited or too passionate about it. In my case, sometimes there is the risk, you know, I want to tell people what to do, and that's dangerous, right? Because I'm too passionate, and maybe I do see a couple of steps ahead, but that's not the point, right? I mean, as a coach, as a father, as a husband, it's not about telling people what to do, but in growing together. But But of course, as a coach, it happens sometimes as well. I mean, you are coaching some people, if I may be totally honest, and you're like, okay, you know kind of the way things should go, but then you have to refrain yourself, right? We are not about to tell people what to do, but in helping them to discover their own strategy, to helping them discover their own formula for success.
Mhm.
So I try to integrate it. I mean, it's part of me, but I was trying to respect the others. I was trying to, yeah, to give them that respect. They have to go at their own pace, and have that privilege of discovering uh, their way to success. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. It's very interesting. I think oftentimes we confuse equipping others with giving them the solution. And what
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned is, as especially as a coach, what what we do is not giving them the solution, but giving them the equipment
Mm-hmm.
to find their own solution. I think that's very interesting, and probably a very good way for people to find their own way, right?
I think so. I think so. The most powerful for me, one of my favorite methods is asking questions. And
Mhm.
I just used to, so people can question themselves and come to their own conclusions, right? So, and by the way, this is an area where I am still growing, learning to ask the right questions, and well, not only asking the right questions, but also with empathy and with rapport. You don't want to scare people away. You don't want to, with a finger, waving the finger like this type of thing, but in a gentle, firm way, asking the questions so they can grow, right? But also, make suggestions. That is another way of helping people grow, right? I mean, maybe like suggesting a book, suggesting a podcast, y- maybe even simple things like a film. I mean, I love science fiction, and I think science fiction, there is a lot of hidden lessons, life lessons in science fiction films. So even that, hey, have you watched this film? Maybe you should take a look at it and see what you get out of that. Things like that, right? So just suggesting different tools so people can consider and maybe discover new things. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. So, do I understand you correctly if I would say equipping others for you is about asking questions, is about giving suggestions? Um, what else would there be? What if if someone would ask you, how can I start equipping others? What would you tell them?
Well, I think our first responsibility is to be fit ourselves, right? To be equip ourselves. So the first thing for me is to be always stay always with this mentality of always learning.
Mhm.
So that's what I try to do every day. I try to read something. Podcasts are important for me. I have a
Mhm.
few audiobooks. I have books that I'm reading right now. So I have my own growth plan, right? And this growth plan is important because I know I have to stay on my toes, as as
Mhm.
as they say, right? Always alert, always growing, always on the look for not for the next thing, but to challenge myself to keep growing. So that's the first thing for me. And then if I read something that might apply to a particular case, then I can suggest something. Maybe I learned something new, a new strategy, a new way of asking a question, or a new methodology, or whatever, right? Oh,
Mhm.
this apply to this case. But first, I need to stay. I need to keep this learning mentality, this student mentality, always learning, always learning, always learning. So that would be my first suggestion.
Mhm. That's great. You have to be equipped to equip others.
Mm,
Yeah. Have you ever had challenges with equipping others?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, in Germany, I've been working with on and off over the last 10 years, working with people that that are going through a hard time in life, right? I mean, either they're unemployed, they didn't finish their Ausbildung. What is that in English? Their vocational training. I think that's the way you say it in English, right? Um, or maybe they just had misfortune in life, right? So in helping them readjust, either to society, to get back in the job into the job market arena, and so on and so forth. So there are people that are willing and able and prepare, but then there are others that are not uh, that great. I mean, they
Mhm,
kind of want to, but either they are not able because of different situations, maybe addictions, maybe cognitive challenges, and so on and so forth. So there are days in which I scratch my head, so like, okay, what should I try? What should I say this time? It's easier if the person is willing and do his or her homework, if they are participated in the process, but very difficult if people are not motivated, and if they are not doing or can't do their part. There are sometimes those cases as well. Yeah.
What did you learn from those experiences? Are there lessons?
Yeah. And so for me personally, I think it's to be patient and to sometimes manage my own emotions because you are challenged as well as I'm just a human. So yeah, that's one lesson. Patience and emotions, and then go back to the drawing board and say, okay, how can I do it better next time? Um, ref- Reflect on what I said, reflect on what I did. Was I too early with this step, with this question, or
Mhm,
or why didn't I say that? Maybe I should have said that, and so on and so forth. So these are the type of lessons that I get. I always go back to the drawing board, think about it, reflect on what happened, reflect on what I said, pick up the pieces, and try to do it better next time. Yeah,
mhm,
that's for me the main thing.
mhm. Interesting.
Ask for advice as well.
Yeah.
If I find a challenging case and it's too much for me, be humble enough to ask a colleague, to ask a coach with more experience. Hey, what do you think? How should I deal with this situation? Mm,
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I think that's very important.
mm.
You've never learned enough. Yeah. And how does this value play a role in shaping your future? Your decisions or yeah.
Well, if I mean, this is my life, right? This is this is what I do, but it's more than my job. As I said before, it's not just a way of earning a living, but I believe in helping others change their lives, right?
Mhm,
So maybe going along to what I said before, if this is my life, if this is what I do, and if what I do has a direct impact on others, so then I need to take it seriously and be prepared and constantly equipping myself
mhm,
in order to give the best to those that I am equipping to.
mhm.
So that will be for me that short answer, because if I stagnate, if I if I stay at the same level, then what am I doing? You know,
Yeah.
that's. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Is it also important for you to be a role model in this? Or
Yeah, I think so. As I said a couple of sentences ago, I'm just a human, and sometimes I miss the mark, so to speak. But yeah, it is important. So I try to live what I say. First because of me
Mhm.
and my kids. That's the most important thing. Sometimes they joke with me like, "Hey, Papa, you're not allowed to react like that. You're a coach. Hey, I'm gonna expose you." They say to me, "I'm gonna go on social media and expose you." But we joke around at home. But at the same time, there is some truth to it, right? So if my kids, for example, they are watching
Mhm.
and they watch my videos and they are on top of what I do. So that there is a huge responsibility just there towards my own kids, for example, right?
Yeah.
They're like, well, I read John, I'm a certified Maxwell leadership member, and I do this and I do that, but then if I don't live it out, then I'm a hypocrite. What am I doing? So yeah, it is important to me. On the first level, because of me, I need to be loyal to my own values. But then, if there is a responsibility to those around me, I believe. Yeah.
Mhm. Probably especially for your kids. Like
Hmm.
you said, when they listen to you and they hear you say things
Hmm.
that you don't live out, what
Hmm.
kind of picture are you painting for them,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. That alone, that's just huge. Yeah.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm. But it's great that you can joke around because no one can live up to everything we say. And
Yeah.
that's also, I think, a very important part to realize in growing and in equipping others to is to be humble enough to know that we are gonna make mistakes, right?
Exactly. Exactly. No. And if I'm honest with you, uh, of course, trying to be honest, always, but sometimes I share for my own mistakes, even with my clients. If I deem that appropriate, if I deem, what, I went through that, or I have myself experienced that, and so they can relate to, as a coach, I'm just a normal person, as anybody else, but hopefully I've learned from my mistakes and I kept on growing. So yeah, there is a huge responsibility and a beauty. I think that the word you use, staying humble is important. Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. What can you tell those who are watching right now and thinking about becoming coach or expanding? Maybe they are a coach and they want to expand their coaching certification
Mhm.
to encourage them to join the John Maxwell family.
Well, as you know, one of the main purposes of doing this Maxwell DNA series was to promote the values, the John Maxwell values, the company, and what we stand for.
Mhm.
And I've been privileged of getting to talk to all of you during the interviews, and it's for me personally, I've been enriched doing these talks, and I hope the people watching us have as well. Of course, we want to also tell the people. You mentioned, people, maybe there are some coaches, they just want to expand their own knowledge and portfolio, and maybe even belong to a community. And some people might just want to do it for themselves because they want to improve their leadership skills or their communication skills, etc. So I would just encourage everyone to give us a try. Our In the description box, we will include our different social media outlets. What do we have, Anya? We have Facebook.
Facebook, we have Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, And your YouTube channel.
And that YouTube channel, that's right. And I believe we are. I will encourage everyone to go through to the Facebook page. Well, actually, in everyone, I think we are advertising that in every outlet, right? Next 8th of January, we have a live event. It's like a type of info evening. So if you have questions, if you want to get to know more about what we do in the upcoming events and everything happening around here in the German-speaking world, the Maxwell Leadership German-speaking world, I would just encourage you to follow us in one of those outlets and get in touch with us. That will be my encouragement to all of you.
We're coming to an end of this interview, and do you have one last word of encouragement or lesson you want to share with us?
I think I would say stay curious, nurture a growing mindset. First for yourself, read as much as you can in whatever area. I mean, you don't have to be a coach necessarily. I mean, maybe you want to read, you want to improve as a parent, as a couple. Maybe you want to just improve as a leader, as a communicator, as an engineer. Whatever you do, nurture this growing mindset. Read, research, listen to others, ask questions, stay humble in that sense. I think if we stay humble in that sense, there will be always room for growth. If your cup is full, then there is no place for more, right? Well, it can never flow. So I guess in that sense, yeah, let your cup overflow. Just keep growing, keep learning, keep learning, because the more you are prepared, the more you grow yourself, you will be able to be a blessing, to be able to equip others and help them also to grow in their lives. So I will say that I think it's important to keep a humble mind, a growing mindset, and just to keep on growing. Yeah.
That's an amazing end of the interview. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for sharing what you've experienced and what you've learned. And yes, just thank you for sharing with us and
Thank you very
giving
much. Thank you.
wisdom to us.
That's nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I guess we'll be back. Oh, we have a special guest next week. So, well, not next week. In 2 or 3 days, we will upload the next interview on our series. And for all of our viewers, you should not miss that. It's going to be a good interview.
So thank you very much and goodbye.
Goodbye.